So, our next speaker is going to be talking about why you should trade your own personal data. Really looking forward to this. She is also a big fan of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She trains in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. So as long as you're not Paddy and you can't lose... No, I'm not going to say, please challenge her on stage. We'll have this whole Bruce Lee thing. It'll not be good. Ladies and gentlemen, please just enjoy the talk. Mitzi!
Why should we own our own personal data? Our digital identities, or perhaps our digital alter egos is more fitting. Show me your phones. Now, unlock them for me. And pass them to the person on your left. Still don't care about privacy? Now imagine this, only you're a politician and the person on your left is the entire population. This is the campaign that was launched last week in response to the American legislation. Privacy is not about keeping secrets, it's about choice. When you go to the doctor and you share medical information, that's okay. It's also okay if that doctor shares your medical information with another doctor, providing that their intention is to improve your health. As soon as a doctor, knowingly or not, shares your medical data with a marketing company, like what happened this month with the NHS and Google's DeepMind, it gets a little uneasy. Privacy is about choosing context. What data goes to who, for which reason, and when?
Do I think that data privacy is a serious issue? It's not like on the front of my mind.
I think we are pretty secure.
I don't feel too threatened. So I'm just like, allow, allow, allow. I agreed to let this app change my device's call log, including incoming and outgoing calls data. So why would they want to change my call log? Do you have any idea?
I allowed this app to record audio at any time without my confirmation. That's pretty terrible.
This may allow the app to share or save my calendar data regardless of confidentiality or sensitivity. It's offensive.
I give this app permission to modify calendar events and send emails without my knowledge.
I give the app permission to read my text messages.
Read my text messages?
Read my text messages. What?
I allow this app to modify my contacts.
To modify my contacts.
Modify my contacts. That's scary.
I give this app permission to read my personal profile information. Ugh.
Give the app permission to use my precise location. It's not something that I think anybody else needs to know.
I agree to let this app automatically turn off airplane mode.
Turn off airplane mode.
Is that real? That's insane.
I give this app permission to read all data about calls on my device. Yeah, that's up.
Why would they do that?
That I'm actually kind of surprised about.
And these are real?
Is that true? Oh my God.
Oh, thank you for alerting me to all this really bad.
I feel like I'm giving over my life to an app.
I should probably start to read these things.
Why should we own our own personal data? Imagine you own a house, and one day you lock yourself out. So you go to the locksmith and ask for help, and locksmith says, "Don't worry, here's your house key." Imagine you own a house, and any real estate agent across the world can rent it out without letting you know and keep the profit. Imagine you own a house, but to contact your friends or family, to get a job, you have to tick a box. That means you agree to a continually changing contract that takes 30 days every year just to read. That's the situation we have with personal data today. We have become the product. Our identity is being consumed. Here are some of the prices for which your data is being sold. The biggest thing that I notice is the difference between your identity with and without the health record. Some tech companies are pimping our assets. The value is generated from your identity, and surely as a human, that's the core thing that you own. What's more is that these pimps are building robots, which are inevitably replacing our jobs. Thing is, no job, no wage, no consumption. Who are going to be the consumers of the future? Unemployed people don't consume. Who are these robots going to be building for? This is the singularity paradox. One solution would be to take the value of the tech companies, divide it by the world population, and you'd get about a few $100 a month, a universal basic income. Understandably, if you're a tech giant, you'd get a little defensive about this equation. But consider this. The internet is a publicly funded invention, military money. And these tech giants have become the gatekeepers to the internet by providing superb services. But surely some of this initial investment should go back to the general public, or at least they shouldn't be able to monopolize on our plumbing system. Why should we own our own personal data? Data is knowledge, and knowledge is power. Much like when only a few people were literate and could access the books, if we have a few companies that can access the servers and have the tools to analyze the data, we have a global oligarchy. A few weeks ago, the father of the web wrote an open letter about 3 things he would like to see change in his invention. And the first was about personal data. I quote, "In repressive regimes, it's easy to see the harm that can be caused. Bloggers can be arrested or killed, and political opponents can be monitored. But even in countries where we do believe that governments have citizens' best interests at heart, watching everyone all the time is simply going too far. It creates a chilling effect on free speech and stops the web from being used as a space to explore important topics like sensitive health issues, sexuality, or religion." Jewish bookkeepers in World War II understood very well what it meant to need to destroy the records. In an emergency, today, such as a fascist getting in charge of the servers, we wouldn't be able to do this so easily. Although seemingly very friendly people, having a handful of unelected, wealthy men acting whimsically is surely not good governance that will ensure that the underdog will be represented in the decision-making process. Personal data trading is not just changing the interface. It needs to be technically sound. It can't be that software engineers working for private companies can override users. The Home Secretary in Britain made a statement asking for a backdoor to be put into WhatsApp. The thing is if you put a backdoor into WhatsApp for politicians, there could also be one for companies, there could also be one for everybody. So we really have to think about this technically and design it in a clever way. We're in an airplane with one motor, which can be operated by one passenger. I think it's time we start to build the second motor. personal data trading would be the equivalent of the digital French Revolution. A form of global voting. If you can choose who you give your metrics to, which company, which institution, you can choose who has the upper hand. Because if you have the knowledge, you can act in a competitive market more efficiently. I didn't come here today to tell you the Brothers Grimm 2.0. I came to tell you the story of why it's important, and also, hopefully, show you that there's an opportunity. Tech has disrupted many industries, including our democratically elected governments. It's time for us to disrupt technology. We should own our personal data because we would be able to extract the value of analytics without compromising privacy, and that value could be distributed fairly, which would mean we'd have decentralized power and build a model for global governance. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mitzi. That was